The job market's looking pretty tough. Let's talk about it.
Why does applying for a job have to be a literal fucking nightmare? Like, I don't understand why and when this became a thing. Like, people are already complaining about the fact that, like, nobody can apply for jobs anymore, right? Because all these jobs don't really exist. You go onto websites like Indeed or maybe even like ZipRecruiter, and they have all these jobs posted like, hey, we're hiring. And then you go to apply and you literally never hear back from them, right? Like, and then of course you call them up and you're like, hey, I saw that you're hiring, submitted an application. Like, what's going on? They're like, oh, well, we'll get back to you. And then they never fucking get back to you. There's a lot of complaints, okay? But you want to know what's even more aggravating than that? It's the fact that you'll go to apply to some of these jobs and then you send in the little submission button and it takes you to this separate page where it's like, hey, in order to be considered for this position, this employer would like you to take a test. Bitch, what? Like, and it always has a little disclaimer like, this may take for anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. I'm sorry, are you paying me for my time to take a test? Right? Like, it is, and it's always the most mundane bullshit type of test that you can take, right? They answer, they give you the same questions, just worded differently, like 15 times throughout the test because they want to catch to see if you're an idiot, right? Or if you're gonna, lie on certain answers. Like, it's absolutely bonkers. Why do I gotta take 30 minutes out of my day, okay, to take a test that you're not paying me for, okay? And $50 says you're not even gonna look at this test anyway, or even giving my application a consideration, okay? It's ridiculous, all right? What happened to just, hey, you're hiring? Cool. Here's my information. Does it match with what you need? Cool, then all right. Like, that's it. I don't understand. Like, it's getting absolutely insane. Like, all these loops and hurdles you have to go through just to apply for a fucking job. It should be as simple as, hey, your building says now hiring or help wanted. Here's the help. Fucking let's make it happen.
I'll say this. If I'm in desperate need for a job and I don't have a job yet, you bet your sweet ass I'm taking that test. I mean, I don't care if I'm not getting paid or not. If I need a job and I'm interviewing for a job or I'm applying for a job and they want me to take a test, I'm taking the test. I'm going to do everything I can to be ahead of the people who don't want to take the test because they're not getting paid for it. I'm just saying that there. Now, I will say the job market right now is not looking the greatest. We have data coming out that's saying, new jobs been added, la-di-da-di-da. But you talk to the everyday people, you watch these clips that we're going to watch today, and things just don't sound good. They don't. You hear new companies having bigger layoffs and bigger layoffs to cut costs because of economic headwinds coming. It feels like something bad is about to happen. I don't know how, I don't know what, I don't know what's going to be that trigger. I don't know. I can feel it in the air, I feel like something's coming, and the job market is obviously a big read on things. Now, there's something I wanted to read here. It says the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported this week that even as layoffs remain subdued and job openings increased in October, the hiring rate ticked down to a level not seen since the U.S. was emerging from the financial crisis of the late 2000s. At 4.2%, the unemployment rate remains historically low. For context, the unemployment rate never dropped below 5% in the 1970s and the 1980s. Yet, even as unemployment has fallen somewhat in the recent months, it climbed substantially from its pandemic-era low of 3.4% in April of 23. On Friday, the Bureau of Labor Statistics released employment data for November. The number of payrolls added at 227,000 came in above forecast. However, the unemployment rate climbed to 4.2%, while the median duration of unemployment hit 10.5 weeks, the highest level since May of 2017. Now, there's quotes that go on to say the labor demand is slowing, and then an economist states here that people who currently have jobs are unlikely to lose them. I don't know, we'll see about that. But then it says, but there has rarely been a worse time in recent history to be looking for them. So if you're out looking for a job right now, it's pretty tough to get hired. So let's hear what a typical interview may sound like right now.
Do you have any experience?
No, sir, I have no experience, but I'm a big fan of money. I like it. I use it. I have a little. I keep it in a jar on top of my refrigerator. I'd like to put more in that jar. That's where you come in.
The biggest mindfuck ever is when you're applying to a new job while you currently still have a job, right? Especially if there's like a performance review or goals for next year that you have to work on. Like, my only goal is to not work anymore. Do you understand that? I'm not setting goals for here. My goal is to not be here, okay? And I know my performance has not been good, okay? It's because I've been spending many hours a week not doing this job so I can leave this job, okay? Don't tell me I'm doing a bad job, okay? I just don't have time for your job, okay? Also, I very much stopped trying on my current job. So if I don't get that new job, I am very fucked. I'm weeks behind on everything. How do you keep the lights on when you don't even care if the lights are still on?
That's not a good way to do things. I'll just say that, guys. Like, listen, I've been there. I understand not liking your job. I understand working in an area or working for a company where you're not happy. Totally get it. But given the times we're in right now and how the economy looks, yes, I know, stock market's going up and everything, but be happy that you have a job. Be happy that you have a paycheck, because there are people out there struggling right now who don't have a paycheck, who are struggling to find a job, who can't get hired anywhere. And that's pretty scary when you think about it. Now, during those times when I was at a job that I didn't like, I wasn't happy, I didn't want to work there, I still put my best effort in. I still put my best foot forward when I would get to work, because one, I had pride in myself and I didn't want, to go to work at a job and be that lazy guy. That's just not how I'm built. I don't operate that way. And then lastly, I wanted to do that because I wanted to keep my job. Now, see, when you're a single guy, like, it maybe is a little different, but when you're a guy that has a wife, you have a house, or you have rent payments, you got kids to take care of, like, there's a little bit more riding on your shoulders that you need to take care of and that you need to worry about. So, it comes into, you gotta suck it up, buttercup. Like I get it. I know it sucks, but right now is the time where you keep your job and you also are trying to prepare yourself financially for whatever's to come. And with what I mean by that is, like, you're saving more money, you're paying off debt. Any extra dollar you can save goes towards paying off your high interest debt. That way you can get yourself a little bit set up financially. So then down the road in a couple years, when you have some debt paid off or all of your debt paid off, you have a little bit of cash in your bank and your savings, you can maybe choose to take a risk and change industries, change careers, go work for a different company, start your own business. Don't just go with the flow, collect your paychecks, go spend it on random shit that you don't need, and waste money. That's not how we should be living. How we should be living is by earning that paycheck, have a job for all of those dollars, pay yourself first, and then use whatever you have left over to keep the lights on, buy groceries, and pay for wherever you're living at.
I just got hired for a job that I am not qualified for, and they told me that in the room. I walked in and they said, we need this on your resume, and it's not. But we wanted to give you an interview because of the vibe of your resume. And I got that job, and they're going to train me. So if you're not qualified for something, apply anyways. Moral of the story. Here's to applying to jobs like a man.
Now, listen, I 100% agree with her. Here's the thing. Like, you'll talk to people or you hear people and they're like, yeah, I've applied to 200 jobs, right? Or I've sent in, my applications everywhere. I mean, most of the time, guys, like, that doesn't really do much. It really doesn't. Like, you got to go a little bit of the extra mile. Like, I have applied for jobs in the past that had nothing to do with my degree. I had no experience, no reason necessary to even apply for that job. But I was like, it sounds kind of fun. Let's go ahead and do it and see what happens. So I send in my resume. I follow up, I call the managers, I explain who I am, I explain what's going on, I explain why I'm interested in the job, I've researched the company, I've researched the person I'm most likely going to talk to, so that way I don't sound like a dumbass when I'm calling and saying, hey, can I have a job? No, you gotta sound more professional than that. But she's right. You don't have to just, like, if you're struggling right now and you have no idea how to get a job in your industry, start applying to other places. Take a job up front for a barista position or, working stocking shelves at Walmart or whatever, and do that while you're looking for other jobs. But a lot of the time too is if you can get your foot in the door somewhere, like, I'm not talking about getting hired. I'm talking about, like, you go in person to submit your resume or something like that. Ask for the person who is in charge of hiring. That way you can shake their hand, walk in confident, head held high, and strike up a good conversation. Like, just be a regular cool person and say, hey, I really be interested to work here, and see what happens. Now, obviously, that's easier said than done, especially in this job market. I get it, guys. Trust me. I'm just trying to do things that if I was needing to look for a job right now and I was watching this video, that's things that I would want to hear to try and go do. No, I'm saying this. I'm not going to just make excuses and be like, oh, there's no way it's going to happen. I'm never going to do that. I'm like, no, go freaking try. I hear so many of you in the comment section be like, oh, that would never work. How do you know? Yeah, I guarantee you haven't done it. But trust me, I get it. I know it is tough out there right now.
You guys want to know how bad the job market is? I almost cried mid-interview because I was so frustrated. Like, what the fuck? I've never felt that before. But I'm just so frustrated and I don't know what to do. Like, it was like so overwhelming because those questions that I couldn't answer because I don't have experience. But I can't get experience because no one wants to hire me. Like, what the fuck? So, just so you know, like, if you have a job that you hate, just keep it. It's hard.
Hey, I mean, yeah, she's right. Like, so I've been there. I've taken the interviews where like I've made an ass of myself, and like you walk out of the interview and you're like, oh my god, that was so horrible. I mean, I've been there. I've been there where like they ask you questions and you're like, sorry, like I'll be honest with them. I'm like, sorry, dude, I have no idea. Like, I don't know. You know, like, and sometimes that may be better. Like, because I've also been on the interviewer side where I'm interviewing people, and you can pick up when someone's like trying to think as they're talking, you know, like you can see them freaking out. And sometimes I'll stop and be like, dude, like, it's fine. Like, if you don't know, like, just tell me you don't know. I would much rather someone be honest with me up front and say, I mean, yeah, like, I have no idea. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Like, that would mean, like, I feel like maybe, I don't know, maybe other people are different, but I would have more respect for someone who's up front and says, sorry, I don't know, but I can figure the question out and come back to you or send you an email or something. Like, I feel like that maybe goes a little bit longer than trying to make up something, but I've been there and I've done both. I've tried to make up an answer while I'm talking, and as I'm talking, there's like that second voice in my head that's like, you're screwing it, you're blowing this, you're horrible, you're a dumbass, what the hell are you trying to do? While the other side of my brain's like trying to come up with this elaborate story of something that has never happened in my life before. Like, I know it's bad to say that, but, you know, so when you need a job, like, sometimes you get desperate and you do whatever. But ultimately, like, I think I've learned, too, as I've gotten older, is, like, just tell the truth. Like, if you don't get the job, it wasn't meant to happen, move on to the next one. But, you know, like, I feel like people respect that more now instead of trying to lie or to, you know, make up something to impress somebody. But when it comes to experience, I have had that happen to me a lot when I was trying to get my first job. And I was graduating college, and I'd get these interviews. I'm like, guys, like, you can see my resume. Like, you can see I'm freshly out of college. And then they'd say, oh, well, we want somebody with a little bit more experience. And I'd be like, what are you doing interviewing a guy that's still in college? And I don't know. It is difficult. It's tough. But I think right now, like, if I had to give advice on, like, what I would do if I was looking for a job and I was not having any luck getting hired, there's probably 3 routes I would go. First one would be a sales job, like some sort of sales job, but you have to be good at sales. Like, right? Like, you can't get a sales job if you don't want to talk to people, you don't want to pick up the phone call and cold call and stuff like that. Like, if you know that's not for you, that's off the list. Next, trades job, blue collar job. Calling any HVAC company in your local area, calling any roofing company, calling any, I don't know, handyman business, whatever. I talk to these guys all the time when I'm dealing with them in real estate, and they always say the same thing, that they can never find reliable help. If you're reliable and you're willing to learn, they're willing to train you, like, you'll get hired. I can almost guarantee that. But that's what comes down to, like, this newer generation, is a lot of people don't want those jobs. But I think over time, those jobs are going to slowly start paying more than somebody with a, you know, an art degree or a history degree or whatever it is. But I looked at some of the comments on that last girl's clip, and I just thought they just, like, you know, they stuck out. And this one says, I've been trying to adjust my attitude at work because I need to make peace with it. That's probably a good idea right now. Like, right now is not the time to be, you know, Miss Bitchy at work, because a lot of us probably need to keep our jobs. Another one here says, I can't even get a part-time job in retail, and I've been in retail for 7 years. So yeah, that's probably saying something, that right now is a little bit of tough times. So tread lightly. If you have a job, keep it.
The job market right now is actually so fucking unhinged. I'm so pissed off right now. Let me tell you why. A few weeks ago, I had a lawyer reach out to me on LinkedIn, and because my LinkedIn has me open to work, that's probably how he found me. Okay, but this street is really cute, I'll give it that. Anyway, I come out to the ass of Queens, where I am right now, and he's literally like, oh yeah, meeting for 4 p.m., bring your resume. We had previously had a Zoom. I made sure and confirmed that they were legit. I mean, and they are legit. They're just really disorganized. They were just kind of looking for a freelance publicist, someone to send out releases and just do outreach. And so that's what I was interviewing to do, freelance. Well, as I walk in to the office, the man that I'm supposed to be interviewing with is literally leaving. No one knows what the fuck is going on. The front desk associate was also super confused. And now I am literally headed home from Queens.
I've had that happen before. Not that exact story, but I've gone into companies where either one, they forgot that you're coming for an interview, or that they're just so disorganized when you get there. Oh, sorry, I was coming here, and it's just so awkward to have to deal with. But that may be a good idea for some of you out there if you're looking for a job, or if you have a job and you want recruiters to reach out to you. Hop on LinkedIn. I don't use LinkedIn that much, but I do know it's a great platform for people who are looking for jobs to start connecting with different people, be active on there, message as many people as you can. That's another idea maybe on how you can at least get your foot in the door somewhere and start opening up some conversations. Make sure your profile is pretty detailed and talk about all the different experiences that you have, even if it's a barista job. Make posts about how you're motivated in getting XYZ and your plans to move forward and how you want to work at a certain, I don't know. I mean, there's just so many things I would be doing if I was looking for a job right now. Even though the market is difficult, I still wouldn't let that stop me from trying to get a job and, get ahead. And if you have to take some crappy job right now, take the job. It's better than zero money coming in. But I am on the lookout, and I'm going to be watching these unemployment numbers over the next few months to see what happens. But if unemployment continues to rise, we could be in for a rude awakening, and I'll be here to talk about it.